Hey, Shalom Akim, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, coming with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord willing, this be edifying to the Lord's elect. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, of whom I've grown in this truth under. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith, and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, to you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations. But your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all, Barakatham. All right. So let me get this started. All right, by reading Isaiah chapter 13. All right, starting at verse 3, it says, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts, Yahweh Tazabawath, mustereth the host of the battle. All right. So I'm here once again to blow the trumpet. All right, and give warning. This is, this world war is moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And it's about to heat up, man. The Lord is bringing all these particular players into the frame. You know what I'm saying? Because it's time to muster the hosts to the battle, man. And that battle is going to be waged in the so-called Middle East, which is West Asia, in the region of the Levant. The scriptures call it, all right, the valley of, I'm trying to think of Armageddon, the valley of Jehoshaphat, Salakia. All right, so the valley of Jehoshaphat, which in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat, is where this war is going to be waged the hardest. All right, that's where it's going to be focused at. All right, towards its end. See what I'm saying? When it reaches its climax. But right now, the Lord he's getting ready to close up all these different skirmishes, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Russia versus Ukraine. You got North Korea that's in the fray, bringing their troops in to support Russia. You got China that's getting ready to make a move on Taiwan. You know what I'm saying? You got you got the Strait of Hormuz closed up, and global shipping and global economy is into a free fall, man. Okay? You got America that is losing its influence and its power and its strength, you know what I'm saying? Losing support, losing faith. You know what I'm saying? All these nations are losing faith in America. And at the center of it all, you got these Amalekites, these small hats, okay? These so-called JOOs, smack dab in the middle of all of it, right? So we're coming to that time. Salaki. We're coming into that time, all right, where now America is making all these different countries, all right, or shall I say they're putting all these different countries in a difficult position where it's basically a line in the sand that's being drawn, all right, and everyone's like, excuse me, and everyone has to choose a side. You see what I'm saying? Everyone's got to choose a side. No one can sit on the fence, okay? And that's the Lord mustering the hosts to the battle. So now nobody can sit on the sidelines and say, oh, I'm not going to be a part of this or not, you know what I'm saying, or that, you know what I'm saying? where you got Secretary Bessent of the Treasury, who is now saying that anybody who's doing any business with Iran will face sanctions, will face economic downturns. All right, at the behest of the dollar. You know what I'm saying? And this is only going to cause the further divide at this point in time. You got Ontario of Canada. You know what I'm saying? That's currently in a heated trade war with America. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you got China. China that's in a position where, okay, they're gonna face these this ultimatum, so to speak, from America. All right, and it's just all this back and forth. Okay, and it's only going to lead to the ultimate demise of America. All right, and its downfall. Salaki. All right, so let me get this going. I wanted to read this article coming from endtimeheadlines.org. It reads, Russia warns that it could strike UK military targets in response to supplying Ukraine with weapons. Russia issued one of its sharpest warnings yet on Thursday, declaring that British military sites inside Ukraine and beyond its borders could be struck if Kiev continues attacking Russian territory with long-range British missiles. According to report from Reuters, Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova delivered the threat at a Moscow briefing, saying London now stands one step away from legal complicity, in Russia's view, in what she labeled terrorism against Russian civilians. The warning carried unusual force. Zakharova said Britain faced inevitable catastrophic consequences unless it reversed course. The remarks followed Ukraine's use of Franco-British Storm Shadow Scalp cruise missiles against targets inside Russia and in eastern areas Moscow claims as its own. We have repeatedly warned that any British military installations and equipment in Ukraine and beyond its borders could be targeted in response to Ukrainian strikes on Russian territory carried out using British weapons, Zakharova said. She urged British leaders to immediately, in the most resolute and unequivocal manner, abandon this hostile, aggressive line, which can only create the risk of the conflict escalating to an entirely new level. A British Ministry of Defense spokesperson rejected the pressure, telling Reuters that London stands shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine and will keep supplying the weapons Kiev needs to defend itself against what it called President Vladimir Putin's illegal invasion. Russia should be in no doubt about the resolve of this government to stand against Russian aggression in Ukraine and against the UK and our allies, the spokesperson said. Western analysts linked the intensity of Moscow's language to Britain's public decision on Monday to give Ukraine classified technology so it can begin producing Storm Shadow missiles capable of striking deep inside Russia. The Kremlin then, that same day, accused London of methodically adding fuel to the fire. Zakharova also singled out France, which has already approved licensing the same missile technology, saying both countries were playing with fire. She accused British Prime Minister Andy Burnham of treating escalation as a mandate and choosing the most dangerous path. The warning came a day after Russia claimed Ukraine fired Storm Shadow missiles at a shopping center in Russian-controlled Donetsk, wounding civilians, including children. Ukraine offered no immediate comment, and Reuters could not independently confirm the details. Both sides denied deliberately targeting civilians. United Nations figures show more Ukrainian civilians have been killed since Russia's 2022 invasion, while the Independent Conflict Intelligence Team estimated 327 civilians died inside Russia in the first 7 months of this year, the highest rate recorded since the war began. All right. So what we're seeing now is that the NATO countries are starting to be drawn into this conflict. All right, because there's no more proxies. You know what I'm saying? There's no more proxies, man. That language is coming to an end, because how long are you going to continue to keep bombing us while you're using these guys as a human shield? Okay. And as the saying goes, they want to continue this war to the last Ukrainian, and that seems to be the case, right? And this, like I said, this is going to bring these nations closer and closer to that final conflict. All right, but there's going to be a plot twist, according to the scriptures, according to prophecy. There's going to be a plot twist. All of these allies that America has, they're going to turn and side with Russia. They're going to side with the Medes. You know what I'm saying? With Gog. That's what they're going to do, man. Okay. All of these NATO allies. Okay, it begins with Turkey. It begins with Turkey. And all these other European nations, you know what I'm saying, that realize, you know, this is a road to nowhere. You know what I'm saying, continuing to support these Ukrainians and this war that is not at all their benefit. You know what I'm saying? They're going to eventually turn away, right? And they're going to say to hell with America, because America is not looking so sane as of late. You know what I'm saying? Threatening their allies, threatening Oman, threatening Denmark. You see what I'm saying? Threatening Canada. You see what I'm saying? So all these different actions that's being done by these Edomites, okay, in America is causing contention, man. And the house is divided. You know what I'm saying? The house is divided at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? When the prophecy state in the book of Daniel, all right, that the 10 toes in that statue is going to be partly iron, it's going to be partly clay. Okay? It's going to be strong and it's going to be weak at the same time. Weak because these countries are in disagreement. You see what I'm saying? The alliance is falling apart. You know what I'm saying? All these jokers are looking at America sideways. And it only gets worse from here. So let me get this in the book of, let's see. As a matter of fact, let's go here to the book of Obadiah. All right. Obadiah, because like I said, you know, these nations are going to turn against America. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna understand. Listen, man, this is a lose-lose situation if we continue to stay loyal to these jokers who ain't loyal to us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only a matter of time before America does the unthinkable. You see what I'm saying? They hit that hornet's nest, and they expected NATO to back them up. You know what I'm saying? Without question. All right. So, you know, the whole world got to see at least 15 of their prominent bases over in the so-called Middle East, which is West Asia. Got to see all of them go up in smoke. All of them inoperable. Okay, blown to a crisp. They lie about about the casualties and all these things, man. So right now, Britain is in a position of preparing for war because they know that that if it gets worse and worse, you know what I'm saying, when push comes to shove, because we about to see, you know what I'm saying, we about to see if what happened just a couple months ago is any indication, then should any of these NATO allies get struck, they're not going to be able to look at America for help. You know what I'm saying? For multiple reasons. One of which is that they're double-minded. You know what I'm saying? You literally just had Donald Trump just a couple days ago to say that maybe we shouldn't have NATO's back anymore. Maybe we should you know you know just walk away. Pretty much what he was insinuating. All right, walking away from NATO. Okay, so this alliance is shaky at best, right? So then the worst case scenario runs into your mind. What happens if we really do, you know what I'm saying, if we really do poke this bear, which is what Britain is doing by supplying all these missiles to Ukraine? What happens when this blowback reaches our borders? You see what I'm saying? It's not going to be pretty. But let me show you this video. All right. Just so you know, so you know, these the British are getting ready, man. Bear with me. All right, fair use, fair use. All right, I declare fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976. All right, so allowances is used for fair use, man. All right, I'm not making any profit from this, so bear with me.
The British government is preparing for a potential large-scale conflict, and they want the public to be ready when it begins. A new edition of the National War Book is being created, which is a manual for what to do in the event of a natural disaster, cyber attack, or military threat from other countries. It includes plans for how the army, government agencies and economy should respond to a major disruption. And its completion is now considered a top priority, with concerns about attacks from Russia and Iran, as well as impacts of climate change. A major component is public preparedness, with a campaign to educate people on what to do in the event of an emergency to be rolled out later this year. People will be told to ensure they have basic supplies on hand, including canned food and bottled water, and how to react if they lose power for an extended period of time. It's an update to the handbook distributed to British households in the 1970s and 80s called Protect and Survive, which was a guide for how to survive a nuclear attack, with helpful tips such as stay inside. The UK isn't the only country preparing for the worst. Sweden, France and Poland have made similar survival guides for their citizens as global tensions continue to mount.
Okay. So, that's pretty much that, man. They're preparing their people to face conflict. But what's happening here in America? What's happening in America is more distractions. See what I'm saying? More distractions, more bread and circus. You know what I'm saying? And not a hint of the possibility of a strike, the possibility of any conflict. You know what I'm saying? This guy just gets to go on. He just gets to go up on TV. You know what I'm saying? Hit the podium and say that America is the strongest military. You know what I'm saying? By far, America is the sexiest, and this and that, and so on and so forth. All right. But if this thing goes down with Britain, with Spain, you know what I'm saying, with Germany, this thing goes down with any of these allies of America, and America doesn't back them up, we, you know what I'm saying? Why? Because America is low on stockpile, low on missile stockpiles. America is at the lowest ammunition stockpile in history. America is at the lowest fuel in history. We're literally running on fumes. These jokers are talking about we have less than a month. Okay. Because you already had the CEO of Shell a couple weeks prior. He said that we are running out of fuel. We're going to be out within 30 days. You know what I'm saying? That was a couple weeks ago. Now they're saying, oh yeah, we got 41 days left. You know what I'm saying? And that was said a couple days ago. Okay, and if they're putting it at 41, then you could probably say, okay, let's dial that down a little bit, because they like to lowball numbers. This thing's about to get bad. You know what I'm saying? Like America is in such a position now that they gotta resort to economic warfare, because the droppings of bombs, that didn't work. You know what I'm saying? The regime change, that didn't work. This joker went into this thing completely blind and arrogant. It's amazing, man. But eventually, all these allies are going to turn on her, man. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 7. It reads, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Right? This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. All right? Who is America's mother? America's mother is Britain. Okay? It says, she that bare you shall be ashamed, because those 13 colonies came out of Britain. You see what I'm saying? And the scriptures the prophecy is saying that that the one country that you spawned out of, all right, will no longer look to you in a favorable light. Okay? Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. You see what I'm saying? And that's going to be America's fate very soon. You know what I'm saying? You got the military within America, the servicemen in America's military that's trying to get out. It's crazy, man. They trying to get the hell up out of there, man, because they know what's coming. They know it's coming. Right? Let's get this video real quick. Bear with me.
Some major news. A record number of U.S. service members are now seeking conscientious objector status as Donald Trump's Iran war rages on. That means they're seeking to leave the military because participating in the war now conflicts with their deeply held moral or ethical beliefs. We just did a deep dive on this on a new episode of the Midas Touch podcast. Make sure to give it a listen. According to MS Now, one organization that helps service members through that process says that applications have surged to 6 times their normal rate. It's the highest level they've seen in 25 years. Troops are reportedly raising concerns about civilian casualties, military strikes, and whether they're being asked to violate international law. But the story gets even bigger than that. Pentagon officials and U.S. allies are also sounding alarms about depleted weapon stockpiles, with more than 30 ships reportedly pulled from the Pacific and shifted to the Middle East. And that raises major questions about America's readiness as China, Russia, and North Korea watch closely. There is much more to the story. We break down the full report on the Midas Touch podcast. Listen to it now on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, it's getting bad, man. Like these jokers are they have run out of options. America has truly run out of options, man. Okay, and then you get mutiny on ships, right? I was literally just watching the movie. I was watching the movie Crimson Tide with with uh, 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 Denzel Washington and uh, I forgot the other dude's name. He plays as General Mandible in the movie Ants. Uh, I think it's Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman, I think it is. Yeah. So I was watching that movie, Crimson Tide. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just looking at that scenario in the movie, you know what I'm saying? How a mutiny can be so chaotic. Well, that shit was happening on what? On USS Lincoln. All right. It was happening um on what was it? The USS Ford, I believe it was. Right when right before the conflict with Iran, those jokers was flooding up the place by clogging the toilets. You know what I'm saying? These jokers right now in USS Liberty, they've been at sea for over 250 days. Jokers is losing their minds, man. Trying to get up out the ship, raising up a mutiny, man. Sedition within the ranks, and that's not just in the Navy. You got to think about all these different branches. There's 6 branches of the military in America, and all of them are undergoing, you know what I'm saying, issues with conscription. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting anybody to join the military, and those that's in the military are trying to get out because these are not soldiers, man. These are not soldiers. These are a bunch of foolish kids who wanted to go into this military, serve for a couple years, thinking that nothing was gonna happen, that they was never gonna be deployed nowhere, and they could just go and get, a scholarship somewhere. You see what I'm saying? This is not a generation that's meant for combat. It's not a generation of battle readiness. You see what I'm saying? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 30. It says, "The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken." You see what I'm saying? So, this is the end of it, man. We're watching America. This is a slow burn. You see what I'm saying? It's only a matter of time. On top of that, we have a blood moon today. Bear with me. There you go. Blood moon tonight, August 27th. All right. These are the times that you can catch it. I mean, right now it's what, 10:26 p.m. So in a couple hours Eastern time, you know what I'm saying, I'll be able to catch the blood moon if it's clear skies. But you know, hey man, this is another sign that we're supposed to look after. You know what I'm saying? Signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, right? Let's get that. And then I'll close it out. This is Luke chapter 21 and verse 25. It reads, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring." This is what Yahweh Shai was warning us about, man. Okay? All these sightings that we're getting, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so Matthew 24:7. "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. We're literally seeing all these things taking place, man. All these things are right at the doorstep, man. We're seeing earthquakes everywhere. We just saw what happened in Nepal. You know what I'm saying? In Nepal and in what was it, Western China. This is happening. This is happening. Japan got hit by 2 earthquakes back to back, I believe, in the same day. This is happening, man. This is happening. You can't help but be excited, man. This shit is going down. We're finally getting out of here, man. The Lord is ramping up everything. Everything. Hey, man, keep your eyes open. You know what I'm saying? Remain circumspect. Pray to the Lord. All right? Pray to the Lord Yahweh through his son Yahweh Shai, man. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got those names, man, you don't have anything. Okay? There's only one name that the Heavenly Father has. There's only one name that his son Yahweh Shai. That's his name, Yahweh Shai, man. There's only one name. What is his name and what is his son's name? Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 4. You see what I'm saying? So with that, I want to cut this off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto our power Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Wakakodash. All right, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.